There is a level of focus so intense, so sharp, and so precisely controlled that when people see it, they do not describe it as discipline. They describe it as unsettling because ordinary people cannot reach it. Their minds scatter. Their attention breaks apart. Their thoughts drift like birds caught in heavy wind. They attempt to focus, yet their mind refuses to cooperate. The ancient shinobi lived under different conditions. In their world, distraction was not harmless. It was deadly. A wandering thought could cost a life. Because of this, they developed a system, a concealed method, a mental ritual that allowed them to shut down distraction, quiet every impulse, and fix their awareness on a single objective with extreme precision. This method increased focus to a level that modern neuroscience is only beginning to explain. They called it Kuji Kiri. 9 mental cuts, 9 seals, 9 layers of focus designed to remove weakness from the mind. This knowledge was whispered inside hidden dojos, passed carefully from master to student, and used only when total concentration was required. Today, you will learn the version the shinobi actually practiced, the one that shaped some of the most formidable minds in Japanese history. Not the cinematic version. Not the symbolic hand gestures seen online. The authentic method. In the mountains of Aga, where mist moved slowly through pine forests, there was a young trainee named Sora. Sora had speed, talent, and promise. But one flaw undermined everything. He could not maintain focus. During sword practice, his thoughts drifted. During climbing drills, his attention slipped. During meditation, he fell asleep. During stealth training, his awareness broke suddenly and completely. While the other students sharpened their minds with discipline, Sora refined his excuses. One morning, Sora failed a basic observation test, one even a beginner should have passed. His master, a quiet and severe shinobi named Gensai, dismissed the others and called Sora forward. Gensai did not raise his voice. He did not criticize. He simply looked at Sora with an intensity that felt cutting and said, "Your mind leaks energy." Sora hesitated. "My mind leaks." Gensai nodded. "You are not weak. You lose strength because you do not know how to direct your awareness." He reached into his robes and removed a small black cloth. On it were 9 unfamiliar symbols, angular, ancient, drawn in ink that seemed older than the mountain itself. Sora asked what they were. Gensai replied, "The 9 cuts of Kuji Kiri. Master them, and your mind will obey you. Fail, and your thoughts will always control you." This marked the beginning of Sora's real training, and where your training begins as well. The first seal was Ren, meaning strength. Not physical strength, but the strength to notice. Gensai placed a single candle in front of Sora and instructed him, "Focus on the flame. Do not look away. Do not drift away. Notice the moment your mind moves." Sora tried. Within seconds, his attention wandered. Thoughts pulled him away. The flame lost clarity. He did not even realize he was distracted until Gensai tapped his shoulder, again and again. Hours passed like this. This is where most people fail. They believe focus means forcing their eyes to remain fixed. They assume wandering thoughts mean they are incapable of concentration. Gensai taught Sora otherwise, a truth modern neuroscience now supports. The mind's default state is distraction. Awareness is the beginning of control. The goal was not to stare at the flame without blinking. The goal was to catch distraction the instant it appeared. Each time Sora noticed his attention drift, he calmly returned it to the flame. Not with frustration. Not with judgment. Only with awareness. The shinobi understood something the modern world often forgets. Focus does not collapse because distraction exists. It collapses because distraction is noticed too late. Training the first seal sharpened Sora's awareness with precision. This was the first step of Kuji Kiri, knowing exactly where your attention is at all times. After Sora mastered the first seal, Gensai blindfolded him and led him deep into the forest. He instructed him to sit and allow the world to overwhelm him. At first, Sora was flooded with sound, wind through leaves, birds calling, insects buzzing, branches breaking, distant water rushing. It felt chaotic and unmanageable. Sora clenched his jaw. "This is impossible. It's too loud. Gensai spoke quietly near his ear. The world is loud only to an unfocused mind. Sora breathed unevenly. How do I make it quiet? You do not silence the world, Gensai said. You silence yourself. Then came the lesson that changed everything. External noise controls you only when your inner world is empty. Make your presence stronger than the world. Sora turned inward. He focused on his breathing, the rise and fall of his chest, the air passing through his nose, the stillness beneath sensation. Slowly, the noise faded, not because it stopped, but because Sora stopped giving it energy. This was the second seal of Kuji Kiri. Focus does not grow by blocking the world out. It grows by anchoring attention deeply within. Most people fail because they fight distraction. Warriors succeed because they replace it with presence. Weeks passed. Sora began noticing distractions instantly. He learned to ground himself internally. But then a more dangerous opponent appeared: internal chaos. Self-judgment, regret, anxiety about the future, ego, the need to prove himself, fear of failure. These were not external disturbances. They were internal conflicts. Gensai told him, the loudest noise is not the world, but the battle you fight inside yourself. To train the third seal, harmony, Gensai placed Sora in the center of the dojo while others sparred aggressively around him. Shouts filled the air. Weapons clashed. Bodies struck the ground. Sora's heart raced. His breathing quickened. Every instinct urged him to move, to react, to protect himself. Protect yourself. This is dangerous. But he was not allowed to move. He had to remain seated, breathing calmly, steady and controlled. Slowly, the disorder around him began to mirror the disorder within him. Fear, worry, racing thoughts. Every sound intensified the turmoil inside his mind. Gensai knelt beside him and said, "Sit within the storm until the storm loses interest." Hours passed. Sora shook, but he did not move. Then, something changed. The noise around him continued, yet his internal reaction stopped. His mind became still, completely still. This was the third seal. You cannot secure true focus until you have mastered yourself. The real battlefield is internal. Most people believe noise distracts them, but in reality, it is their own thoughts that pull them away. By this point, Sora's awareness had sharpened. His presence had deepened. His inner turbulence had quieted. But Gensai knew the most difficult test still lay ahead. One morning he placed a heavy pack on Sora's shoulders and said, "Walk across the beams." The beams were narrow, elevated above the ground, stretching through the forest like a thin line suspended in the air. Sora nodded. He took a breath and stepped forward. Halfway across, his intention fractured. A thought appeared, "Don't fall." Another followed, "Am I doing this correctly?" Then another, "What if the master is watching?" The moment his intention split, his balance failed. He fell. Gensai shook his head. Your focus is only as strong as your intention. Divided intention creates divided attention. Visualization, presence, awareness, none of it mattered if intention wavered. To train this, Gensai assigned tasks that demanded total commitment. Walking the beams without hesitation, memorizing patterns under pressure, climbing without looking down, throwing shuriken with calm accuracy, completing long sequences without breaking flow. Each time Sora hesitated, doubted, or mentally drifted, his performance collapsed immediately. This was the fourth seal. Focus is not an action. It is the result of unwavering intention. A divided intention leads to a divided life. Sora had now mastered the first four seals. His awareness was precise. His inner presence outweighed external noise. His inner conflict was quiet. His intention was aligned, sharp and direct. But Gensai understood something Sora did not. Many students who reached this stage became confident to a fault. They believed they had mastered focus. They believed their minds were under control. They believed they were ready. That belief was what destroyed them. Gensai waited for signs of pride, ego, or the thought, "I have finally arrived." It never appeared. Sora had changed. He bowed more deeply, spoke less, moved with calm restraint, and breathed steadily. The world that once overwhelmed him now felt distant. Finally, one morning before sunrise, Gensai said, "You have passed the 4 outer gates. Now we enter the inner gates. This is where warriors are formed." With that, Sora began the most demanding phase of Kuji Kiri, reserved only for those prepared to dissolve the limits of the mind. Gensai led him to a hidden clearing deep in the forest. There were no students, no sound, no distraction, only open space. Gensai stood before him, hands behind his back. "Today," he said, "we lock your mind." Sora felt a cold sensation in his chest, not fear, but readiness. Gensai explained, "Your mind wanders because it carries weight, thoughts, desires, fears, expectations, memory, identity. All of it pulls your attention away." He stepped closer. "To enter the mind lock, you must release that weight." "How?" Sora asked. Gensai smiled softly, a rare expression. "By choosing one thing and letting everything else fall away." He tossed a small pebble into the air. Sora caught it. "From this moment, your entire mind rests on this stone. Not your breath. Not your body. Not the world. Only this." Sora nodded. He held the pebble with both hands, inhaled, exhaled, and fixed his attention on the cold surface. Seconds passed. Then minutes. Gensai circled him quietly, speaking words meant to disrupt him. "You're tired. This has no purpose. You're wasting time. You're hungry. You're losing focus. You're not enough. You'll fail like the others." Sora's attention flickered, but he held to the pebble with resolve. Each time a thought tried to pull him away, he returned with presence. Each time doubt arose, he met it with intention. Each time fear surfaced, he replaced it with stillness. Gradually, the voices faded. The forest blurred. His breathing softened. Something shifted inside him. The pebble no longer felt separate. It became his entire reality, as if the world had narrowed into a single point. Gensai stopped moving. A slight smile appeared. "Good." This was the mind lock, a state where all mental noise is removed and attention becomes absolute. All distractions fell away. All impulses lost their influence. The mind became precise, like a focused beam. Awareness turned complete. This state was so intense, so concentrated, and so unsettling to observe that even experienced Shinobi avoided practicing it for long periods. When Sora opened his eyes, Gensai was gone. The forest stood silent. He was still holding the pebble. Sora slowly rose. Then he sensed it, a faint movement of air. Instinct guided him downward. A wooden arrow cut through the space above him and struck a tree behind. Another followed. Then another. Each one landed with exact force. Sora moved without conscious thought. He was not reacting. He was not afraid. He was not calculating. He was simply aware. Gensai stepped out from the trees, bow in hand. "If you can lock the mind," he said, "you must now expand it." This was the 6th seal. Jin, awareness beyond the self. The ability to sense without sight, to feel motion without seeing it, to detect intention before it becomes action. Shinobi survived not because they were faster, but because they recognized danger before it appeared. This level of focus does not merely increase alertness. It creates full situational awareness. Most people move through life with narrow attention. Warriors widen it. They perceive continuously, without effort, without noise. As Sora walked through the forest, Gensai fired arrows from unpredictable directions. Sora avoided everyone. Not by instinct or chance, but through awareness extended beyond the body. This was the 6th seal fully expressed. Focus deep enough to expand outward. Attention becomes a field, not a single point. This is why Shinobi were feared. They could not be easily surprised. When Sora returned to the dojo, Gensai led him into the sparring hall. Several trainees stood ready. Gensai said, "If you believe your focus is complete, face them." Before Sora replied, they attacked all at once. Wooden swords came from every direction. To Sora, time slowed. He did not observe the attacks, he experienced them. Gaps formed naturally. He moved through them without effort, without hesitation. This was Retsu, the seventh seal. Shinobi believed that absolute focus stretches time. Not physically, but perceptually. Modern neuroscience calls this temporal dilation. Zen warriors described it as moving between moments. When the exchange ended, one trainee whispered, "He moved like a ghost." Gensai replied, "No. He moved like someone who governs his mind." Now came the stage few warriors ever reached. Gensai sat across from Sora and said, "To reach the ninth seal, you must release the identity that brought you here." "My identity?" Sora asked. "Yes," Gensai said. "The one who seeks focus cannot enter the highest focus. As long as identity remains, distraction follows. Identity creates expectation. Expectation produces thought. Thought interrupts focus. To train identity dissolution, Sora meditated on a single question: who am I without thought? Hours passed. Then days. Each answer collapsed under deeper examination. I am Sora. That was only a name. I am a shinobi. A role. I am a trainee. Temporary. I am my thoughts. Thoughts pass. I am my body. The body constantly changes. When every layer was removed, Sora experienced something unsettling. A sense of awareness without boundaries, labels, or narrative. No past. No future. Only presence. This was identity dissolution, the eighth seal, where self-created mental noise disappears. With no identity to interrupt it, the mind became unrestricted. Gensai brought Sora back to the forest cliff where his training had begun. The sun was low. The air was still. Gensai said, "You have passed the 8 seals. Now comes the final one, the seal that makes the shinobi mind unstoppable." He placed a small wooden box in Sora's hands. "Open it." Inside was nothing. An empty box. Sora hesitated. "Zen," Gensai said quietly. The shinobi understood that the highest focus is not narrow. It is empty. A mind without craving, without thought pulling at it, without desire pushing it, without fear shaping it, without identity limiting it. Only awareness. Only presence. Only intention. Sora closed his eyes and stepped into that emptiness. When he opened them, Gensai bowed deeply, a level of respect Sora had never seen before. "Welcome," he said, "to the Mind Lock. Now you understand the 9 seals. Here is how they apply today. 1. Ren's awareness. Notice distraction immediately. 2. Pyo, inner presence. Shift attention inward. 3. To quiet mind. Sit with discomfort. 4. Sha, commitment. Hold one intention. 5. Kai, mind lock. Choose a single point of focus. 6. Jin, expanded awareness. Train peripheral perception. 7. Retsu, time mastery. Work in deep, unbroken intervals. 8. Zai, identity release. Detach from labels and outcomes. 9. Zen, effortless focus. Complete presence, nothing added. Master these, and you will not need motivation. You will not need inspiration or discipline techniques. Your mind will follow your command without force, without resistance, without hesitation, just as the shinobi did. Before this ends, ask yourself, where does your focus leak? Where does your attention scatter? Where does intention weaken? Where does self-doubt interrupt your direction? And more importantly, who would you become if you could lock your mind at will? That version of you already exists. It waits beyond distraction and beyond fear. Until next time, keep your mind clear, your presence steady, and your warrior spirit firm.